We're talking actors and directors who put on the shows.
We're talking playwrights and designers who you'll want to know.
From the very first rehearsal to the final curtain call.
We might be off Broadway, but we're talking about it all.
'Cause we're two local gals
with global pals. It's everything, everything, everything theater.
with Benita
And Ellen. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Everything Theater Podcast, the podcast where we talk about
Everything Theater. Hi, everybody. I'm Benita Zahn.
And I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I got to tell you, the last time we recorded, I was out on the Cape. So then I went to the College Light Opera to see, Lauren.
I do. I know Clock. I know Clock. I have a friend who's there this summer. Continue.
Yes, no, we got so much to schmooze on. So they were finally doing something. We were there and they were doing Secret Garden, which, given how they have very little tech. But anyway, I'm signing up, to get our tickets. And I said to the gal, because I want to get their artistic director, Ellen, for us as an interview. Last year we had the artistic director from Cape Cod Theater Project, which we went to again. It was wonderful. So anyway, we start, and I'm going, and I have a podcast with another actor, and it's called Everything Theater, and you should really sign on for it. So I'm pitching us across the Northeast, and small world. Lauren Marchand joins us. She's playing, is it Cat or Kate is the role?
Cat. Or Catherine, but Cat.
At right now over at Ellen's going to jump in and out. She's got a little something going at home. She's over at doing. I'm like losing my train of thought talking about Ellen. Lauren is starring in Mystic Pizza right now, and which is wonderful at Cap Rep. But before we got started, we got talking, and she said she's from Long Island. I said, I'm from Long Island. And where are you from? We're from the same hometown. We went to the same high school. So go Jayhawks. We're doing them proud. Lauren, it's great to have you here. You're going to be a senior at NYU.
Yes.
Your other life. You are a Jimmy. You won the Jimmies in 2023.
Yes, we did. Right out of high school.
Right. Let's just talk a little bit about that.
Let's. It feels like forever ago. 3 years ago now. My high school, we were just talking, Jericho, not very theater driven, a lot of STEM, a lot of sports, but the theater director, Theone Renato, she put us in to a sort of essay-based competition where it was going on at the time. It was called the United States Love is an Open Door. So every state across America would get the rights to put on the full production of Frozen, the Broadway musical, not just Frozen Junior. Or I guess there's the junior version. So we kind of I was the president of the Thespian Honor Society that year. And I was kind of like, we should just do it, because who knows, who cares, what is there to lose? Right. So we did, and a series of essays were written about why our program would benefit, blah, 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 just beautiful things. And I remember I was I don't know if you know about Nassau BOCES as well, but I went to the Long Island High School for the Arts in the mornings.
That's new since I was in school, but it's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd spend half my day at my art school and then the other half of the day doing my academics at Jericho. And so I was at my art school and my mom called me and she was like, I need to pick you up. And we were like, okay, are we okay? What's happening? And she drove me to Jericho and I got into the little theater and the whole thespian group, all of us were all sitting there and the big projector was down and I guess they were announcing which schools had won. So I was like, there's no way, there's absolutely no way. But lo and behold, for New York State, Jericho High School won the rights. So that year we we banded together, pulled out all the stops. We had the robotics team create icicles that would move, and it was fantastic. We had a snow machine, and I just remember being so ready to take on this challenge. So like when auditioning came around and callbacks and stuff, I was like, I feel as though Elsa is calling more than Anna. So I put a lot of my energy towards the Elsa material. And fortunately, Miss Renato and the whole team, they saw something there, and they let me tackle Elsa. So fast forward, for the greater New York region, there's the Roger Rees Awards before the Jimmies. And I got to go to that. I was nominated for Elsa, and my friend Manji was nominated for Kristoff. So we were going together, and we were like, you know what? Like, let's just have fun. Like, we've already won for our school. We've already had so much fun because
The blue and gold.
yeah, like we would do the shows, and we did like a little tour where we went to Seaman and Jackson and Cantiag, and we performed for all the kids. Those were
Those are all the elementary schools.
Yes. So we went in like full costume, and all of the kids would come to school in Elsa dresses or in Olaf costumes. And I will never forget some of those photos that I still have, just like being with like 10 sweet little girls who don't know that I'm not actually Elsa, but it's beautiful. So we get to the Roger Rees Awards, and it's a whole weekend of working on a song from the show and then learning from industry professionals. It's fantastic. And I had done it a couple years prior in like a smaller program. It's the New Faces program, where you're not nominated for a role, but you're nominated for a specific discipline. So I had done it for vocal performance years prior. So like I knew about the Roger Rees Awards, and everyone's fantastic. Susan Lee, Theo Linsecki, Sam Shapiro, they're all the leads of that. They have my heart. And me and Manji went, and we were just having fun. And then it came time for the awards. And when I heard my name as a finalist, I was like, what's going on? It was so crazy. So then I went out, and I was like, you know what, just like leave it all out there. I remember someone told me that once, and just like leave everything on that stage. Don't leave anything to doubt. Just do it all. So I did. And I was the runner up. So I got second place. And I was like, this is just, who cares? This is fantastic. Me and my mom, we went to the Applebee's in the city. We were just like reeling, like, oh, that was so fantastic. That was so fun. And I got to sing for all these industry professionals in the audience. And I'm going to NYU, so who cares? Like, so then 2 nights later, this is the best part of the story. 2 nights later, my friend Tatum, who won overall, Tatum Hopkins, she's fantastic. She won overall, but I got a phone call that she wasn't going to be able to go to the Jimmies and that I would have to go in her place. I was sleeping. Susan Lee called my mother, and my mom was like, Lauren, wake up. I was like, I thought I was dreaming. It was crazy. So I was like, what are the odds that I didn't quite like make the first place, but I still get to go. Tatum still gets to do all of the things that she wants to do, and I still get to go to the Jimmies. So I was like, yes. So the Jimmies was 10 days or 11 days, I think, in total. Again, same vein, just learning from industry professionals. We saw MJ the musical. We went to Sardi's, the restaurant, and I literally remember telling every single person that I would interact with, because that's the point of the Jimmy Awards. I feel you need, it's the connections that you make and the people that I still talk to 3 years later. I remember we would just like sit around, and I would just feel so grateful just to be there, because I wasn't meant to go,
Well, I guess you were.
Well, I guess I was. So obviously we get to the awards again, and I was in a character medley singing Let It Go, singing as Elsa. And again, it was just like a leave it all out there. Like the odds that I'm here, let me just leave it all out there. My parents were there. I had recently lost my grandma as well, and she was such like a propellant of like theater. So, but I was going to NYU, things were looking up, and I was like, I don't need to win. I'm glad that I got to do it, because you see Broadway professionals now who were Jimmy Award finalists, Jimmy Award nominees. It doesn't. So then I was announced as a finalist, and it was crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And going out there and singing the solo song that I had coached, because that's what we did as well. We coached a separate solo from the show. And again, like leave it all out there. I was grounding myself backstage. I was like, listen, like it's the Minskoff stage. Lion King was one of the first shows I saw with my parents. And I was so surreal, so like crazy. So I went out there, leave it all out there. We're downstairs. Then they announce us, and it's such a Jimmy Awards thing. They like you rise from the Minskoff stage holding hands all together. It's so cheesy, but like we were like holding on because we were all like shaking and nervous, and we're rising. And I believe they announced Langston first, perhaps. I don't remember. So he won Best Actor. He's fantastic. He's at Juilliard, and pretty fantastic. And then they announced my name, and I just, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I feel, all this to say, I feel that the Jimmys has catapulted me in a specific way that peers of mine, like friends of mine at NYU and people that I meet here, that you can't quite imitate because it's such a specific like niche to come out of, and it has its advantages. I have a lovely management and agency team that send me for things like Mystic Pizza. And I'm just, it feels like forever ago, but it also feels like just yesterday when I talk to these people or I get invited back to sing or to speak on a panel of something. And yeah.
I love this story so much because I think it's a huge reminder out there of, I love how you're initially the runner up, and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
it just tells people that like if you don't get it one time, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean, that like you're not talented and that you're not going to go far. And, it's
Yeah.
just the combination of that panel or whatever, or the people
Yes.
auditioning that time. And, you just never know and just got to stick with it. Oh,
Yeah.
what a great story. Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank
why
you.
couldn't the other gal fulfill her obligations, sort of like, Miss
So I
America?
don't quite know. I believe so. Okay, actually, I believe that Tatum went on to do Queen of Versailles with Christian Chenoweth. That had a recent stint on Broadway. But
Yep.
they were doing it at, I guess, like a regional house somewhere, like an out of town trial. So I believe that was around the time that was like murmurs of that was happening. I didn't know. I don't think that anyone was like, she's not going to do it anyway. She's fantastic. And I adore Tatum, but just again, like what you just said, it's like circumstantial. You never quite know like what specific thing they're looking for this year's winners. So it was totally surreal to see Tatum win that and feel all the emotions, like so happy for her, and then getting to be the emerging runner up as well. It just it felt great for it to be the two of us, and then for her to go off and do something so fantastic with Kristen Chenoweth, and I believe Michael Arden was the director producing on that. So he's superb, always doing fantastic things. And then me getting to go to the Jimmys and all of the things that have sort of
So
rolled off of that.
in between, so you're at NYU.
I am,
And
yes.
which one of the Papaleo girls, it's the youngest, is at NYU now? Both of her older sisters went.
Ava?
Ava. Ava Papaleo. Well, if you run into her, tell her
Okay.
you know Benita and Ellen from Albany.
Okay, I will.
How
I'm at
both-
NYU Steinhardt, so I'm not at Tisch.
Okay.
If this
Okay.
is a Tisch student,
I think
but
she's
Steinhardt, I'm in
also-
the vocal performance program, so we're
Gotcha.
it's a Bachelor of Music, not a BFA. Of
Well, if you run into her, you'll love her.
course, I will.
You'll love her. I'll
I'm
tell her
sure.
to look for you.
Yes, do.
So since then, since the Jimmy Award, and you've got your feet back on the ground, mostly,
Yes.
and before Mystic Pizza, what have you been up to?
Well, right after the Jimmys, one of my favorite sort of time capsules was because it was 10 years of Frozen, because the animated movie came out in 2013. which is crazy, crazy. Disney theatricals sort of was like, come here, let's do something to commemorate this. And obviously, because I had sung Elsa and I had played it was just kismet to get to work with them. Everyone was so sweet and fantastic. So we got to do the 10 years of Frozen sing along that happened on Good Morning America. So that was late 2023, I think. Yes. So I got to lead the sing along of Let It Go. And then they brought in a bunch of videos from other schools across the country that had won the rights to do it as well. So it was sort of like a compilation of all of us singing. But I was in the city in the studio. And then I also brought, I didn't bring, but my Jericho, like the thespians that were a part of the show, got to come in and sing it. Some of them were in the studio with me, which was so sweet, so full circle to see all of, like, Manji, who was Kristoff, he got to be in the studio singing sort of like with me. And I just, it was so touching to feel like the full circle of bringing this show up from nothing in the little theater to where I'm at now. And he's also at NYU. So like it's just things happen, things align for a reason. And so that was 2023. And then around when I can, I love to do like a cabaret type thing. If someone's asking me to be a part of like a specific theme for something, that's always really great. I did a Broadway Equity Fights AIDS benefit where Norm Lewis was there. What? Actually crazy, because Little Mermaid was the first show I saw on Broadway, and he was King Triton. And let me just say, I have never, it was a very specific emotion to see him singing right in front of me and then me to go up after him and sing. And I think that was definitely a specific emotion for my parents as well, who were there, who took me to see the show and like motivate me to pursue all of this stuff. And so that was definitely, oh my God, it feels like forever ago, but that was fantastic. At school as well, we do shows at school. There's like student-led organizations at school that do sort of like cabaret style things as well. So I've been doing that in and around. At Tisch, there's another sort of like a student-led organization. They just did Pippin, and I was the vocal music director for that. So that was kind of like putting on a different hat and sort of teaching and bestowing things that I've learned and working with a team of students, putting on a show off Broadway at Art New York. That was fantastic. That was a couple months ago. That was fantastic. But, you know, and also just auditioning when my team will send me things, working that muscle of self-taping, because everything's a self-tape now. And also getting to go in and meet teams like I did for Mystic Pizza, getting to meet Scott and Casey in person, our directors, choreographers. It prepares you for life outside of college as well, like sort of like a safety net of like you're in school and your voice teacher is directing something, and like you feel a little safer, you know, because you're with the same people, you're with your cohort. So getting to work the muscle of auditioning outside of school has been great as well. And yeah.
And then how did this come about for you to do Mystic Pizza?
So this is also another like one of those interesting Lauren stories. So I was in Science of Language, my science class, and I received the request for Mystic Pizza at the rep from my team. And, you know, the summer stock phenomenon of like, we have to book something, you have to be doing something, you know, I didn't really catch on it and take it really very, very seriously and very passionately about it until this year into this summer. I have some really good friends who are so very smart and practical with like how they're going about finding things. And I've always found that very like inspiring. Like, you know, I'll get to it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the confidence to like record myself dancing and not feel weird about someone perceiving me as not the strongest dancer, but like this is what the career is, putting yourself out there. So I was taking it more seriously this year, that my team knew that, and I was sent the material for JoJo, which Carissa Gonzalez is our JoJo. She is superb. I love her. I adore her. And JoJo as a character, I forget her name in the movie. It's more of like eccentric energy, like very much polar opposite of Kat. But my mom had seen the movie in theaters when she was younger with her sisters, and I didn't really watch it until I was like, oh, I should probably watch it to like learn a little bit about the inner workings of these relationships. So we watched some clips, and JoJo, I was like, okay, I'm ready with this like chaotic energy. I can do that. That's very Lauren. I can be that like, ah. So I went in the first day and I worked on that material, and I just showed them. I learned it like the night before. It's always a very quick turnaround, which I love. I love being able to adapt and learn music quickly. I'm very, very blessed to be able to do that. I've always been very strong with picking up musical material. So, and it's a jukebox musical. So it's a lot of songs that we know, they're in there somewhere. So I grew up on all of this music. My dad is very much all of this 80s, 70s, 90s music. It flows through me. So I was ready for the challenge, and I went in and I did all the JoJo material, and I felt like I don't know if it like really landed as chaotic JoJo. So I go home and I was like, womp womp, whatever. Like, it is what it is. The Mystic Pizza, so, it hasn't really had very many runs, very many productions happen. It came up around COVID. So, it's one of those like awkward, like, now it's sort of being picked up at regional houses. So like, maybe I'll do it again someday. I'll go in a room for it someday. So then I get home, I'm taking the train home. I'm calling my mom, of course, because you have to do the debrief after, like, how'd it go? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll see. So then I check my email, and it says, we'd like you to come back in, but read for Kat, the younger sister. So I was like, oh my God. So I raced home back to my dorm. I was like, I can't talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk to any of my girlfriends about it. I just wanted to put my nose in my iPad and learn all the new material, because I mean, at the time I didn't know that Kat was like a principal. I don't know. I just, I didn't really know the show and the movie. So I learned the material, and I just felt that it fit better in my voice. And I was like, whatever happens, I feel really good about this material. So I went in. I wasn't able to make the dance call. I had to leave science of language early. We had a quiz. I did the quiz, went uptown. It's the student life. And I went in, and Scott Weinstein was there again. He's our director. And then Casey Alfonso was our choreographer. But I didn't get to meet Matt Stern. He was our music director, because I think that he was at another thing. So it was a table of like Capital Rep people, Stephanie Clapper, crazy Stephanie Clapper casting. And I was like, let's just leave it all out there. Let's just leave it out there. So like, obviously I think that this was the last day, and the hallway wasn't really riddled with many people at this point. So I was like, okay, maybe this could be like I couldn't make the dance call because I had class. So I was like, I really hope Kat doesn't dance much, because they're not seeing me dance today. And I went and I did the material, and I felt really good about it. And I was like, that's it. That's all that I could do. Again, it was kind of like the Jimmys, where like you can just like leave it out there and leave it to the universe. And I got home and I took a nap, because I don't nap, but my body was like, you can rest, And I woke up to my phone ringing, and I thought it was my mom, because it's like 6:00. It's like, how was your day? And it was my manager. And I was in like the sleepy haze. I was like, what's going on? But like, like when your team calls you, that's usually like the team's offering you something, And she was like, I think you know what we're calling about. I was like, no, I don't. I'm half asleep. And she was like, you got it. They want you to be Kat. And I was like I couldn't even produce tears, because I was just so like, huh. crazy, crazy excited. And then I called my family. I didn't tell any of my girlfriends in the dorm because I was like, I just want to make sure that we can sign all this stuff and make sure that it's like completely like set and ready because it's like my first regional like professional sort of gig. And I called my parents and they were just like also like a state of like, and it's not like a whoa, I didn't think you could do that. It's like a wow, like it the stars align this summer to do this fantastic show. And little did I know all the people that I'd meet here and the experience that we've all shared so far. And we have so many shows to go. But I feel like we are truly such a family.
I'm looking at the clock. We've got about 7 minutes. So the run
Yeah,
will
yeah.
go till August
August
when
9th.
is it? August 9th at Capital Rep. Everybody, you got to buy tickets. I mean, if this
Yes.
was an audition for wow, somebody is gonna just steal your heart on stage, Lauren just nailed that audition.
Thank you.
And for
It's
our
it's a
local
really, really strong show.
and for local people too, Mark Christopher
Yes.
is in it, and he hasn't been in the area for a while. It's nice to have him back.
Yes.
He's been touring with Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's the
And
best.
and like you just were teaching Mark on, if he's not out there plying the trade forward facing, he designs sets. So you
Yeah.
really have to be, we talk about a triple threat now, but you really need to
Yeah.
be much more. And it
Much
sounds
more.
like you are, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank
Have
you.
you folks been up to see the show?
Yes, they came to our third preview this past Saturday. And, every time that we're in the car driving home from a performance, I'm like, okay, so what did you think? Don't tell me anything bad about myself. Just tell me the good things that you enjoyed. And both of my parents just like had nothing bad to say at all. No, not a single like, because sometimes
Hmm.
like in school, the shows that they've seen me do at school, sometimes there's like one or two things here and there that are not just as strong as like the caliber of a regional production where there's so much production value and so many things go into producing what's going on, so many people that you don't quite see on the stage, and they loved it. My brother too, like nothing to say. It's just like
Take 2 minutes now and give us the synopsis for people who don't know Mystic Pizza.
sure. Mystic Pizza. It was Julia Roberts' first film role, I believe, and everyone is
It's the one that
Vincent
propelled her.
D'Onofrio. Sorry.
It propelled her.
Yes, it propelled her. And it's about three girls, Daisy Arujo and Catherine Arujo are sisters. It's Mystic, Connecticut, pizza shop called Mystic Pizza. And then Josefina Barboza, the three of them are like sister best friends. They work at the pizza shop under Leona, who is the owner. And the pizza shop isn't doing as well as they'd like. And there's a lot of emotions there. All three girls are going through some sort of like new romantic blossoming. Kat, my character Kat, she meets Tim Travers, who's an architect. He's a little bit her senior, not it's not creepy. He's a little bit her senior. And he has a wife back home, but there's something there that blossoms. They see each other as something unique, and there's a mutual understanding. And then Daisy meets Charlie, who comes from a wealthy background with a family who doesn't really want him to pursue art, and he wants to be an artist. But Daisy and Kat, they're Portuguese girls who come from nothing, immigrant family. And I think it's so prevalent in our world today of how a melting pot community can bring about love and joy. And I think it's such an important story to tell. Who else? Joe, and Bill are, it's I think it's Vincent D'Onofrio in the movie. Love him. And I don't know her name, the actress who plays JoJo, but she was a very famous actress back then as well. And they're kind of like the push and pull, like, will we get married? Will we not get married? And it's just, the show has such a wonderful resolve, a wonderful full circle of growth for all of the girls. And you have to come see it to understand. It's different from the movie. It's not entirely the movie. There's this jukebox musical, so you might find yourself singing along, and we welcome that, not too loud, but we welcome you singing along. And it's a joy. It's a joy to do.
Wonderful. I love
that.
that.
I think that was more than 2 minutes. That was like 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
No,
Okay. We give
It's
it to
okay.
Yeah, and it's I'm excited to go see it because it's a musical I've not seen yet. I always
Yes.
love those hidden gems. You're like, ooh, one more to add to the
That's
list.
a good word. That's a good term for it. It's a hidden gem. It's a gem.
And I quick looked it up. It was Lily Taylor played JoJo in the 1988
Lily Taylor.
in
Yes.
the 88 movie. Yes.
Yeah.
So enjoy the Capital Region while you're here.
Thank you.
We hope you're loving it.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. And go check out Mystic Pizza, everybody. We will catch you next time. I'm Ellen Cribbs.
And I'm Benita Zahn. And hey, make sure you follow Lauren Marchand. What's your Twitter?
Not on Twitter.
Okay.
Instagram. Find me on Instagram,
Of course.
Lauren A. Marchand.
Great. And I just also Googled the comms director for Jericho High School is Maggie Rose Melito. Maggie, I'm going to be in touch.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. This was lovely.
It's been a pleasure. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to the Everything Theater podcast. Special thanks goes out to Alice Grinling for our photography and Justin Friello for composing our amazing theme song. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to share your thoughts or what's going on in your theater community, you can reach out to us on social media or through our email at everythingtheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, it's everything, everything, everything.